Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, NavisWorks for BIM 360. Just want to do a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box in your GoToWebinar control panel. And also, a recorded version of this webinar will be available on our website and YouTube channel within a couple days. You'll receive an email with a link when it's available. We also, as we are answering questions, if there are any questions that we don't get a chance to answer during this session, there will be a record kept of it, and you guys will be receiving emails with some of those answers. So before we jump in, I just want to give you all a quick introduction to Microdesk. Microdesk was founded in 1994 as an Autodesk reseller with a simple mission: to assist architecture, engineering, construction owners, and GIS firms with improving workflows and integrating project delivery technologies. 25 years later, and that mission still holds true. Microdesk is a well-established AECO consulting firm with 13 offices in the US and the UK. We have over 250 plus AECO consultants, solution specialists, software developers that can help in all sectors, all disciplines, in all stages. Some of the hottest topics in the AECO world are globalization, urbanization, and sustainability. Urbanization studies suggest that the US will build 114 cities the size of Boston in the next 30 years. Here at Microdesk, we can help to make sure you are prepared to meet these demands. We use software from industry leaders and combine it with our own vision and passion for sustainability to meet demands of urbanization. Our team of industry experts, consultants, are redefining project delivery and asset management. We're committed to helping clients realize the business benefits of BIM quickly and economically by facilitating the use of innovative technologies and processes. Whether it's streamlining your design, construction, or operations, our consulting team is the nation's largest and most experienced group of AECO technology consulting professionals. Microdesk clients represent some of the nation's largest and most respected organizations and public agencies, including the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, Denver Airport, Robert A.M. Stern, and Columbia University, amongst many others. To help support the industry with these demands of urbanization, we provide full-service consulting. This includes building information modeling services, enterprise strategy, and workflow assessments, technology management, mentoring and support, application development, and much, much more. We partner with world leaders such as Autodesk and IBM to utilize innovative technologies and methodologies to empower sustainable design and overcome local challenges. Our vision is to reduce the environmental impact of urbanization by helping the AECO industry to design, construct, and operate better projects more efficiently by leveraging the full potential of BIM, VDC, and asset management. My name is Michael Kirk. At Microdesk, I serve as an architectural solution specialist. I specialize in assisting design organizations with integrating building information modeling into design processes. And I am a certified instructor in both Autodesk and other related software. I work with national architectural firms to provide on-site assistance and strategic consultation, as well as custom training, content creation, and creating standards and workflows. I have achieved expert knowledge of BIM tools such as Revit, NavisWorks, AutoCAD architecture, and Bluebeam. So on to the subject at hand. With a significant shift to the use of cloud-based technology, and more specifically in the construction world with BIM 360, there is no denying the importance of continuing to maintain desktop software, The good news is these two environments are not in competition with one another, but in most circumstances intended to work together. This gives us the power and functionality of our desktop software and a universal access to our information. This symbiotic relationship evolves into a form of BIM 360 and the multitude of connections both built into the Autodesk software and installed as plugins. While there are many aspects available to connect information between desktop software and a cloud-based platform, today we are discussing the particular avenues with the features available between BIM 360 and NavisWorks. During our presentation, we'll be touching on various aspects of the powerful features available for use between BIM 360 and NavisWorks, such as interaction between NavisWorks and BIM 360 Glue, differences between classic and next-gen services, working with NavisWorks files inside of the BIM 360 document management environment, and the NavisWorks BIM 360 model coordination workflow. The process for traditional clash detection and how designers sent models to a model coordinator and he merged those files in NavisWorks was a time-consuming effort. Everyone had to gather their models and get them to the BIM coordinator, and then he had to go through the process of getting it ready for the next stage. Once the cloud platforms became more available and more accessible, it shortened that time frame by just allowing people to load their models and have some of that integration happen immediately. But in that process, when we were dealing with the models coming from all sources and then coming to a BIM coordinator, this process, the model coordinator merged the files in NavisWorks. His or her job then became to analyze the errors and merge the models, and to do clash detection and document any type of collisions. Some are just simple, obvious clashes, but others are not. They can end up with hundreds of clashes that the model coordinator needs to prioritize. It's a heavy burden for a BIM coordinator to understand and filter amongst all these clashes. You could argue that the different disciplines hand over their responsibility to the model coordinator to check their design for them, when they themselves should have control over their own models and how these fit together with other disciplines' models. So the model coordinator doesn't become the bottleneck in the process. The Glue NavisWorks integration gives every designer in any discipline the possibility to merge their models in the cloud and to perform clash detection in a very powerful but user-friendly and simple environment. When working with Revit or any AutoCAD vertical, you could publish the models through a simple Glue add-in and merge your models in Glue and review your model against other disciplines. The result, when designers and engineers are doing their own clash detection against the models, will be fewer errors and a higher quality of models before sending them to the model coordinator, which will make the NavisWorks specialist and allow him to be able to focus on what he is supposed to do, advanced clash detection, such as avoidance and rule-based clashes. There are various approaches on how you can use NavisWorks and BIM 360 on your projects. It depends on the project scenario, which approach is right for you. Tasks such as sharing coordinated models with the team, collecting project models from the team, use the team to coordinate and resolve clashes, and coordinate the project in BIM 360. Users can take the aggregated project model in NavisWorks and share it with the rest of the team in BIM 360 Glue. To do this, you start by bringing the various discipline models together in NavisWorks, just like you would do today. Then use the BIM 360 add-in app to glue the models in BIM 360 Glue. This provides access to the latest model and intelligent model data for the rest of the team. BIM 360 Glue enables collaborative project review workflows where team members can have one-click to BIM access to the model and easily view and navigate and add markups and comments. using the team, using BIM 360 to gather and manage the models from the team, and then bring those models into NavisWorks for coordination and analysis. You can use BIM 360 to collect the models from your team and centrally manage those models with version control, activity tracking, and notifications whenever a new model or version is added. Once the models are in BIM 360, you get all the other benefits with anywhere access in the project review and markups for the rest of the team. You can also allow the team to coordinate amongst themselves, which helps them to resolve many of the smaller obvious clashes before their weekly coordination meetings. With BIM 360 Glue, the team has the power to continuously coordinate between themselves and resolve clashes quickly. The continuous collaborative team-based coordination greatly reduces the number of clashes to review at the weekly coordination meetings. Project teams can use NavisWorks for formal clash detection and publish the models to BIM 360 for team-based coordination and collaborative project reviews. It can also be used to provide easy web and mobile access to project stakeholders. We use BIM 360 Glue for all project clash detection and collaborative coordination, and NavisWorks for advanced workflows such as model-based quantity takeoff or animated timelines, and to develop stunning renderings. Some of the workflow limitations that do occur with NavisWorks and BIM 360 Glue process are not all NavisWorks specific data that are maintained when viewing the merged models in NavisWorks are visible if you open the merged model in BIM 360 Glue. This leads to a siloing of information such as clashes. You also have a situation where views that aren't shared are visible only in their respective programs, although Glue views are usually shared. When we are using NavisWorks and taking advantage of BIM 360 document management, this integrated BIM 360 NavisWorks solutions allows you to connect with your team for collaborative project review, coordination, and issue workflows. In NavisWorks, models are merged and can be loaded into BIM 360 document management. Any changes you make to those models in NavisWorks can be saved back to BIM 360 document management as a merged model. These changes are maintained when viewing the merged model in NavisWorks and other NavisWorks clients. However, if you open the merged model in BIM 360 document management, not all the NavisWorks specific data may be visible. In BIM 360 document management, you can view and create and respond to BIM 360 issues. On the models that are in NavisWorks, gaining access through either the BIM viewer in document management or using the desktop connector in NavisWorks. Issues created in either program are synchronized, enabling you to effectively collaborate the models. Also, views created in NavisWorks are seen when open in the BIM viewer in document management. You can create and manage issues related to 2D projects and 3D models at a document or project level. Issues are used by teams to identify and communicate areas of concern or improvement with project documents or models. You can work with issues in BIM 360 alone or collaborate using NavisWorks. But the newest integration is the bringing together of NavisWorks and BIM 360 model coordination. This means combining the best of both products, the time-saving automation and cloud capabilities of BIM 360 model coordination, and the powerful NavisWorks workflows that have already been proven useful. The integration allows project teams to save time with automatic clash detection, increase the quality of their models, and create a single source of truth for issue management across the entire project team. BIM 360 coordinate customers can now use complementary workflow and benefit from the best of both solutions: automated clash detection, ease of use and model through the ease of use in model coordination for disciplined trade self-checking, and specific clash checking in 4D simulation in NavisWorks. Design and trade teams can self-check their models in real time using automated clash detection, while the BIM leader can focus time and resources on the largest constructability issues and open up an evolving data set in NavisWorks to run specific cross-discipline clash tests on the latest design data. With model content loaded, users have access to all NavisWorks tools, from Timeliner for 4D simulation, quantification, rendering, and animator to clash detector. Search sets can be used to define specific clash tests, targeting high priority systems and object categories and checking for clearances. These additional tools, providing complementary workflows to those found in model coordination, lead to the uniting effort to support a wide range of projects. The model can also be opened in NavisWorks, where specific rules are applied and their users' expertise can be taken into consideration in order to check for larger constructability issues. Model coordination may now become a full team effort, providing accessibility to team members that do not have experience in clash detection and navigating models. This transparency provides value to your clients, allowing them to easily harness the power of the model and truly understand project design, model development, and issue resolution. With the integrated workflow of NavisWorks and BIM 360 model coordination, all project stakeholders, from the field to the office, can now participate in issue tracking and resolution throughout the project lifecycle. Issues created from NavisWorks will additionally capture a screenshot, which is attached to the issue that was created, and therefore accessible to users outside of NavisWorks. The screenshot will also capture any NavisWorks markups, helping to convey detail of the reported problem and information on the recommended solutions. Connecting NavisWorks to content for model coordination gives users the ability to save NWF files to BIM 360 docs and share these with other connected NavisWorks users. The NWF file contains references to the hosted design models and all NavisWorks specific data along with the latest issues. So now let's take a step out and take a look at some of these changes that have occurred. So some of what we were discussing is how we can have access to our projects and our NavisWorks files inside of BIM 360 document management. If I open up one of the views, and you see here I can open up the NWD file by left clicking on it. Let's try that again. Still up, do a coefficient. So we have here is the NWC file that I'm able to open in the viewer. I can select items. If I needed to create an issue, I can just choose the issue panel here and select one of the items. I can choose create an issue, select one of my items, and then have this issue be created inside of BIM 360, and then I would be able to view this inside of the NavisWorks file, the NWC file. This issue that that gets created, and I'm just going to cancel this for a second, will show up on the list of all the issues. I'm going to back out of this for a second. You'll see I can do that same thing if I go to the coordination models. I can do that same thing within the BIM viewer, directly opening the Revit project inside of the BIM viewer, and do that same thing. If I want to create issues, I can create issues inside of this. So this is the way that it would show if we were doing this, just loading our projects into document management and then using the BIM viewer to create issues and then view those issues. If I wanted to view those issues, I will close out of this and go to my issues tab, and you'll see all the list of issues. Now, taking this a step further and going into what we would do inside of model coordination, what we were looking at before in model coordination, the first thing that we want to do when we set up the model coordination is get our coordination spaces together. Start picking out what are going to be our coordination spaces, because that's going to be how we navigate from NavisWorks inside of the BIM 360 model coordination tab. We also can look at what the normal procedure is inside of model coordination, that as soon as we load those models up, as soon as we set up those coordination spaces and the models are loaded up in there, it automatically does those clashes. This is some of the self-checking that can happen. But we can go a step further by opening up NavisWorks, go to the new coordination tab, that is an add-in, and we can choose to open the models, getting us directly into BIM 360 model coordination, and we can open up, left-clicking on the model, you see on the right-hand side, it gives us the model, one of the spaces, and you see I'll hit the pull-down arrow to show you both of those coordination spaces that were set up inside of the model coordination module. And I can pick from my Revit files or other files that I have in here. And one of the things that I would do is take the individual discipline files, and then I can just left-click and open all these up inside, taking the Revit files and creating an NWF file immediately once I open those files up. So I'm going to choose Open. Now, while this file is open, I just want to explain to you, because we're opening up, taking the Revit projects and creating an NWF file, this can be done by multiple users. One of the things that you'll see is that if each one of us can open up the Revit projects, creating our own individual NWF file, but the issues that each of us create will be saved inside of the issues panel. That is actually the live issues from inside of BIM 360, and it'll show me those, and they'll all be saved back in the BIM 360. So the next user comes in and opens these same files to create their own personal NWF file, the issues that I created will be shown in their model, because it's all going back to BIM 360, the issues list from BIM 360, and it's pulling that information because we're grabbing the Revit projects to do this. So now that that's open, I can turn the issues on so I can see them. I can zoom into an area. One of the other things, if I wanted to create an issue here because we got a missing duct, we have a couple of other issues here. If I select this, you'll see that was an issue. The other thing that you'll see is when I left click on the attachments for this, inside of the issues field, I'll show you that when we get back to the issues field, but this is the issue that we have. If I wanted to create another issue, I'll just go back out of this and I can choose create issue, place where I want that issue to be created, and then give all that issue information. I can assign it to a user. Choose the due date for it that we would normally, all the things that we would normally do. If we were creating this, what's going to be, where's the location? So these are all of the issue information that I would be doing inside of BIM 360. So now I have that. If I wanted to create a description, create that issue. Now, the other thing with this, if I had mentioned that each of the users could create their own NWF files and just pile the issues on, but if I wanted to share this, I can easily just save this as you would normally save it as an NWF file on the BIM 360 document management coordination folder, or one of the folders that I have set up. And that way, another user could then open up NavisWorks and just open it up like normal file, but go through BIM 360 to open it and find the NWF file that I began. That becomes the new issue that's there. If I go back to, I'm going to go back to document management. If I look at issues, you'll see that new issue that we created in NavisWorks is now showing up inside of the Issues tab in Document Management. So that creates a pretty fluid workflow with how we can use NavisWorks and open up our files through NavisWorks, gaining immediate access to our coordination spaces inside of model coordination. And also the fact that we could then save these files as NWF files, and they would then be saved into the document management folder that we have set up. So that's an example of the workflow of how we can have our NavisWorks file, have access to our NavisWorks files and our Revit files inside of document management, using NavisWorks to open up our files directly from the model coordination spaces in the model coordination module, taking advantage of the things that we can use in NavisWorks, such as if I wanted to create additional search sets to be specific about what I'm doing inside of the specific classes that I want to look at inside of NavisWorks. And I can continually go back in and look at the issues, the past issues. Now, if I left click on this issue, and if I go back inside of, and I left click on this issue to open it up, and I look at the attachments, let's see the file I need to. So it gives me the actual linked document where this came from. Let me back out of this. And so that's how the workflow can then occur inside of model coordination, document management, and NavisWorks. So that's, if we want to take a look at, we can open it up to, if there are any questions. I'm looking at the field now. So one of our questions is, can we attach a video to an issue? There's probably size limitations with that, so we're going to have to be careful with that, but I think we can. But if I want to do an attachment, it would have to be something, you know, we would have to upload it from a computer and tell it where we want to put it. But we would have to see what kind of limitations there might be to that. If there are issues that are linked to a Revit file and the file is deleted, the issue will still be there. It just won't be a link that gets, you just won't have access to that link because it's going to be looking for that specific file name. And we have another question: is Autodesk merging PlanGrid with BIM 360? Unfortunately, that is information that I don't currently have at the time. It may be part of their roadmap, but that is information that I don't have at this time. So that looks like right now we can keep this open, but I think that looks like all of the questions that we had. Oh. So one of the other questions, can it coordinate with the topography of the site model? The site model is the Revit file that can be loaded in here. So if you're talking about creating issues with the topography, it is going to be treated like any other file. It may be a situation where if that file, you know, when that file becomes part of a NavisWorks merge model, that you can then open it up through like any other Revit project file, open it up, but it seems like it's pretty straightforward that it will allow you to do that. And is there a file size limit for attachments to an issue? I haven't run across any, particularly if you're talking about the attachments associated with the Revit files. If we would create an issue and it automatically gives you the linking document, I haven't run across a size limitation with that. And another question is, will the presentation be sent as a PDF? That isn't something that we normally would do. We are posting this on our Microdesk channel on YouTube, and so it will be available as a video there, and you will be sent that link. So the IFC files, and then we have, what if we have an IFC structural file? The IFC file is an attachment that we can open up. If it's a Revit file, we can import that IFC file. So that is something that can be worked with. So there is still, and this, what type of issue reporting can be exported? So that we can actually export it to any of these formats, so we can export the issue report to any of those formats that you see here. So, and I guess our final question before we close out is that can the BIM viewer open up a Revit file? And we did just kind of demonstrate that that BIM viewer can open up the Revit file, and we actually show that it can create the issues for it. So I think that's. So I want to thank you all for your attendance to this presentation, and I hope that you got a lot of information out of it, and I hope it was beneficial to you. And I'll see you guys in the BIM 360 platform. Thank you very much.